This is News OSU for Thursday, November 17th. We are glad you are with us. I'm Alyssa Sanchez. We begin with the midterm elections. CNN projects that the Republicans will win the U.S. House of Representatives. While it falls short of being a red wave, the GOP has finally passed the threshold of 218 seats needed for control of the chamber. It took Republicans 8 days after the election, underscoring the party's underwhelming performance in the midterms. Winning the House majority with a smaller margin than they hoped will still give Republicans the power to set the agenda in the new year. When the GOP takes over in January, Kevin McCarthy, who became the new speaker, has pledged to prioritize fighting inflation, rising crime, and secure the border. It was determined last week that Democrats will maintain control of the Senate. Attention will now turn to the 2024 election. Former President Donald Trump wasted no time announcing this week that he plans to run for president a third time. Trump ran in 2016 and defeated Hillary Clinton to win the presidency. He lost his bid for re-election in 2020. University of Virginia students returned to class Wednesday, just days after a shooting on the campus that killed 3 students and injured 2 others. Students back on the campus say they are still in shock, but they are finding resilience and peace being with each other. Elizabeth Holm has the story.
I'm really shaken up. It's been the longest week of university history, it feels like. It's only been a couple of days, but it feels like weeks.
As students return to class for the first time since tragedy struck, some stop to take a moment, looking at memorials for those they lost just a few nights prior. A sequence of numbers 1-1541 for Lavelle Davis, Devin Chandler, and Deshaun Perry, football players tragically shot and killed on grounds the night of November 13th.
And just seeing people on grounds, you can just feel how different it is. There's definitely, everyone's feeling the loss. And yeah, you can just see it around grounds.
The grief on grounds helping some try to make sense of it all.
I think part of me was expecting, are people going to try to just pretend like nothing happened? And, I think that's the complete opposite. I think people wanted to reflect, wanted to talk about this. It's a shared trauma that we have.
Across from UVA, Ragged Mountain Running Shop has this sign outside, UVA Strong, for its student employees. Since its start 41 years ago,
we roughly guess we've had close to 1,000. Yeah, it's been a really special experience.
They told their students they didn't have to work.
Each one of them came in, give them a hug, talk, arm around them, and just listen to their experiences as they laid out what they have gone through. And I must say, they've been traumatized.
Co-founder Mark Lorenzoni lending an ear or a hug, saying his students are resilient.
The university has shined through all this, and they have shown that they really, truly are a place that deeply cares. And you can see this camaraderie, this unification of the student body over the last 2 days. That's been really, really special to see.
Tragedy also struck University of Idaho, where police are still searching for a suspect in the killing of 4 students. Authorities have been very tight-lipped about the investigation, which has angered many of the town of Moscow, Idaho. The FBI is now assisting in the investigation, and many residents hope that will help solve this case. Jen Sullivan reports.
It's a murder mystery that has the tight-knit community of Moscow on edge, the slaying of 4 University of Idaho students.
No one would have ever imagined something slightly like this could happen in Moscow, Idaho, in such a small town.
The bodies of Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Kaylee Goncalves were found Sunday night in a home off campus.
This crime and the loss of these young lives is just simply beyond comprehension.
During a press conference Wednesday, police confirmed all 4 victims were killed with a knife and say there was no evidence of forced entry, and the suspect is still on the loose.
Based on details at the scene, we believe this was an isolated, targeted attack on our victims.
The gruesome homicides has many residents worried about their safety, and some students have even left campus.
A lot of them have been leaving. People are scared.
The victims' families are devastated and are calling on police to release more information. Autopsies are being performed on all 4 victims, and police hope that leads to more answers. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
In other news, November isn't all about the stuffing in turkey. It's also time to recognize and celebrate Native American Heritage Month. Gabrielle Tiger tells us what this month celebrates and what it means to Native Americans across the country.
Native Americans and Alaskan Natives make up approximately 2% of the United States population, while the United States is founded on 100% of native land. While people tend to forget that fact, November serves as a month to recognize and celebrate the indigenous peoples of this great nation. You may have grown up hearing the announcement of Native American Heritage Month over your school intercom. Chances are you even learned about a few Native American tribes in your history classes. Well, this recognition was formally established in 1990 by President George H.W. Bush. That was only 32 years ago. Native American Heritage Month is all about recognizing and celebrating the culture, traditions, history, and achievements of Native Americans. There are officially 574 recognized tribes in the United States. Every tribe is unique with their own regalia, the form of dress, language, dances, and ceremonies.
I think Native American Heritage Month is a great way to show people about Native American history because the media only portrays Native Americans as a monocultural society instead of as a diverse cultures who have individual standards.
Something you can consider during November is researching the land that you live on and what tribes are originally from your area. Other ways you can learn more and celebrate Native American Heritage Month is by supporting Indigenous-owned creators, artists, and advocates. During November, there's also lots of events open to the public, such as powwows and other celebratory gatherings. As November comes to a close, remember the people this month recognizes. For News OSU, I'm Gabrielle Tiger.
Get ready for a show in the sky. The Leonid meteor shower is expected to peak Thursday night and Friday morning, and astronomers say you could also see it Friday night into Saturday morning. The meteors are the size of tiny peas in sand-sized bits of dust and debris crumbling off of a comet as it swings by Earth. They are coming from the constellation Leo the Lion in the east. Leonid is the fastest meteor shower, striking the Earth's atmosphere at 158,000 miles per hour. Some of the greatest meteor showers ever seen have been Leonids. In recent years, there have been a full-fledged meteor storm. They can be seen anywhere on Earth except Antarctica. You might have to dodge clouds for the meteor shower. It will certainly be cold. Here's the News OSU forecast. It will be very cold Friday with highs struggling to get above freezing. Lows over the weekend will be in the 20s. Highs will return to the 50s by Sunday. Here are some of the events before and after the break on the campus calendar. Ben and Jerry, yes, the ice cream guys, will be speaking at the Wes Watkins Center tonight at 7. Admission is free. The 2022 Mr. and Miss International Pageant will be held Friday night at 7 p.m. in the Student Union Theater. On the Tuesday after break will be the Fanfare of Lights. The campus holiday lights will be turned on. This will take place on Library Lawn starting at 6:30 p.m.
Oklahoma State is coming off a much-needed win against Iowa State, defeating the Cyclones 20-14 before heading into Bedlam weekend. Our own Alyssa Sanchez has the recap.
Oklahoma State was back in Boone Pickens Saturday, November 16th as they take on Iowa State. Not much action happened in the first quarter, but going into the second, OSU gets a 37-yard field goal to get 3 points on the board. Iowa State's Darian Porter blocked a punt in the second, and the Cyclones took over at the Oklahoma State 9-yard line. Iowa State's Hunter Decker threw a 4-yard pass to Sean Shaw to give the Cyclones a 7-3 lead. The Cowboys came right back as Gunnar Gundy, making his first career start, had an 83-yard pass to John Paul Richardson to put OSU up 10-7. OSU Spencer Sanders replaced Gunnar Gundy late in the third quarter. Sanders had a 14-yard pass to Jaden Nixon to put the Cowboys back in the lead at 17-14. And the last quarter, Iowa State went for it on the 4th and 1 from its 25, but Deckers was stuffed on a quarterback sneak, and Oklahoma State took over. OSU's Tanner Brown had a 40-yard field goal to seal the win for OSU 20-14.
It's a good win for us. You know, I'd mentioned earlier in the week that we needed to get home. I think some of the younger guys, inexperienced guys, play better, obviously, when they're home. We needed to play at home. And the crowd was fantastic. The blackout was fantastic. The paddle people. So it was good to be back home.
The Cowboys are headed to Norman this week to take on OU for the Battle of Bedlam. With News OSU, I'm Alyssa Sanchez.
Thanks, Alyssa. We started the game off with Gunnar Gundy, but Spencer Sanders came in to finish it. Sanders has been out with a shoulder injury the past few games, but when asked about Bedlam, here was his response.
He will recover yet, but how do you think you'll be ready to go for Bedlam? Oh yeah, I'm playing next week. There ain't no question. Yeah, you can come in. Y'all are not scrambling all week. Yeah, I'm playing next week.
Last year, Oklahoma State had a massive Bedlam win here at Boone Pickens, keeping everyone on their toes. Tay Martin starts the Cowboys off strong with a 30-yard touchdown reception, giving the Pokes a 7-0 lead. The Sooners rallied, though, with Austin Stogner catching a 29-yard pass in the end zone, making it 14-14. Brennan Presley came back, though, with a 100-yard kickoff return touchdown for the score 21-14. In the third quarter, the Cowboys struggled a little, allowing the Sooners to get a safety, leading to a 26-24 lead. After that, OU punted off to Presley. Presley drops the ball, leading to OU recovering it, taking it in for a touchdown, increasing their lead 33-24. Sanders then responded with a 37-yard touchdown, cutting the Sooners' lead to 33-31. Jalen Warren with the 1-yard rushing touchdown to put the Cowboys ahead 37-33. With just seconds left in the game, the Sooners had 4th and 10, but a massive sack by Colin Oliver ensured Oklahoma State's victory. If this season is looking a little familiar, you could be thinking of the 2014 season for both OSU and OU. At this point in the season, both the current Cowboys and the 2014 Cowboys have the same conference record of 4-3. Both had a 5-game win streak going. And to end it off, both had 2 true freshman quarterbacks due to injuries. In 2014, it was Mason Rudolph going in at Baylor, and this year it was Garrett Rangel at Kansas when it comes to Oklahoma State. In both seasons, their starting quarterbacks both got hurt, leading to in 2014, Cody Thomas going in against Baylor, and Davis Beville took Dylan Gabriel's position when Gabriel went down. The Cowboys are back in the top 25, coming in at 24. Other ranked Big 12 teams are TCU at number 4. They will play at Baylor at 1 o'clock. TCU has clinched their spot in the Big 12 championship game with possibilities of playing Kansas State, Oklahoma State, or Texas, and Kansas State is ranked number 19 and will play West Virginia at 3 o'clock. Kansas will take on Texas at 2:30 in Manhattan. Texas Tech will play at Iowa State at 6 o'clock, and finally Bedlam will be taking place in Norman at 6:30.
And that's News OSU. We will be away next week for Thanksgiving break. From the entire team, have a happy and safe break, and we'll see you in December on News OSU.